Yeah, but you're trying to filter it out how?
Yeah.
You're using your head to filter it out, right?
No, more about my body language.
Okay, well what were you doing to filter it out? Tell me a process you might go through. Because I might be able to help you with this, you know?
Okay.
Like I'm here to help you build your defenses against like the bullshit in your mind. That's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? I'm like training, this is the Black Ops part, you know?
Okay.
I'm training your mind to kick the shit out of your ego so that it can't give you excuse processes and other stuff anymore, you know? Is this coming through, Connor? I think it is.
Are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah, this is on.
Okay, I just wanted to double check before we got too deep.
Does it say 823?
Yeah, that's it. Cool. And you're recording now?
Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to take my pants off, so.
Go for it.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's on video. Yeah. Hey,
Hey, man.
how are you? You don't have to be angry. Okay.
I try to stand up straight.
Okay,
And put my arms like open.
Okay.
And also my legs.
okay.
They don't have to be crossed.
What?
I pay attention that they don't are crossed or something like that.
Like this?
So now that maybe my hands.
Oh, your arms
like
aren't
this,
crossed.
Or my legs. Like,
But my legs are crossed.
yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, I find it easier if they're just next to each other. It's open. That's easier to
Okay.
confront my.
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you here. Instead of thinking about this as the okay, so I understand where you're coming from. You're seeing something that you don't understand really, which is like the whole attraction thing at all. It's like a totally big weird thing you don't get yet, right? That's where you're sitting right now. And I'm looking at this as a thing that I totally understand. I've already explored everything in it, and I know it forward and backward, and I can make it do whatever I want. I'm in a completely different place than you, right? So from your position looking at it, it's like this big, totally confusing, weird thing. And right now you're stepping into it just going, what should I do, right? What do I do? I just want to do the right thing, right? Is that kind of like your mindset? I just want to do the right thing to create the attraction. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I don't like really try and error.
Okay,
More like.
you don't like trial and error, but let me
No,
just,
I'm
I'm going to help you.
I'm
This is the thing you need to hear, okay? Trial and error is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Even if you're given an answer,
Mm-hmm.
you still have to try it and watch it. Only test shit. Only test. Don't ever just take something and believe it. Don't ever do that. Ever in your life, ever. Not even that. The thing I just told you, don't believe that. Don't believe that unless you test it first, you know? Test everything first. If you test it in your life and it doesn't work at all, put it away for a little while and try something else, you know? And see if it works. Test shit. Your life is about testing. It's not about just accepting. That's the one thing you have on your side. Trial and error is part of the test work, you know? It's just really testing. That's all that it is. You don't have to start from scratch, luckily. I was like, okay, well, let me see what happens if I do this. And then I did that, and I was like, that didn't work. Like, I had a bunch of stupid stuff that I had to do. Like 99% of the things that I tried didn't work at all, you know? But I still studied and tried to get the answers from people. And then I tested them out. But what I found out is that most people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Exactly.
That's the problem. And then they're just telling you to do shit, and you're doing it because you don't know, because it's a big, scary thing that you're not sure about, you know? And you can't put me in a different category as other people that are telling you what to do. You have to put me in the same category as them, because there's everyone else and then there's you. That's all there is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for you, as far as this goes, and just in this context, right? In reality, there's no one else but you. That's just kind of how it is. But with this area of your life, it's too important to just blindly do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Without
can't-
hesitation or something like that.
What's that?
I always like sometimes we hesitate and then some excuse pops in my head.
No, it's not about hesitation. Just keeps you from doing stuff. I'm talking about what you're searching to do, like what you're trying out, right? Just when you try something out, it's not like a part of who you are yet. Don't like accept something as like it's going to work and then psych yourself up to be like, this is 100% going to work. Just try it out. You know, don't do that to yourself. Because then if you try it out and it doesn't work,
Mhm.
you'll feel totally betrayed and you won't listen to anything anybody says, you know? Like right now you're in an all or nothing kind of position where you're like, I'm either going to do it and it's going to work, or I'm just going to stay back and that's always going to stay confusing and mysterious and I'm never going to figure it out, you know? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's still an option for you. But that, it being confusing and mysterious and that you'll never figure it out thing, that option is worse than death. Because look at you, you're like sitting here, you'll be afraid of it forever, man. You know? So you can't have that as an option. That can't be an option. You got to get rid of that option. The option to figure it, to like sit here and just never figure it out is not an option. So what's left? Well, you got to figure it out, right?
Mhm.
It's got to happen.
You've got to test it.
You have to test everything. Now you see what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a total mindset shift, right? From like going, well, I might not figure this out, to fuck that. You don't have a choice. You have no choice. Because the fate of not figuring that out for all of eternity is worse than death.
Yeah, exactly.
It's worse than hell.
It's fear. And,
It's totally fear.
yeah.
And you don't want that. Of course you don't want that, you know? So you need to just agree right now that that's not an option. That no matter what happens, you're on this path. Now you can go as slow or as fast as you want on it. You know? If you want to go fast, the way you go fast is you test everything out. Everything. Just test it out.
Mhm.
There's no like, I wouldn't do that, I couldn't do that, that's not like me. Whatever, all that bullshit. That's all bullshit. Just let it all go and be like, okay, I don't know. I don't know, so I'll test this out. And if anybody gets mad at you, fuck that, who cares?
Mhm.
You know? Because what, you're trying to get free? You know?
Free from fear.
Free from fear.
Yeah.
If they get mad at you, then okay. Because that's not an option. What they're asking you to do, if anyone gets aggravated with you, is to stop. But that's not an option, is it? It's not an option at all. You can't do that.
Mhm.
It's not a way to live your life. You know that already. So that would be the one major shift, I'd say, after after hearing what your experience was last night. I'd want to make sure that you got, because you know, you're at a crucial moment. Just like a lot of people are at a crucial moment in their lives right now, you know. And right now you've got to make a decision. You've got to either lay down and die.
Not
You know.
really a decision, right?
It's still a decision. You still have to get rid of it. You have to go, you know what? Fuck that. You have to make that decision. That's not an option.
Mhm.
You know? There's a I thought it was a great expression that some woman that we were hanging out with in New York told my girlfriend, Kelsey. And Kelsey was talking about business at the time because that seemed like an important thing, which is pretty funny now looking back on it. And the woman said, your best isn't good enough, you have to do whatever it takes. You know? And I thought that was a pretty interesting statement. And I thought that it was possible that might come back later for me, you know, and for people around me. That the best isn't good enough, you have to do whatever it takes, you know? If you're going to overcome this, you can't do your best. Your best isn't good enough, you know? You've got to be like hungry, so hungry that you'll do whatever it takes to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you push your boundaries. That's kind of how it works. So we have another day of day game, which is fantastic. So now you can try this out with a group of people, you know? But like, that shift just needs to be clearly made in your mind. The decision needs to be made in your mind, you know? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, good. Do you mind if I move on then, or you?
No, I'm back.
Okay, good. I didn't know if you had anything else that you wanted. David, do you want to talk a little bit about last night? Like something that what was your biggest like realization or revelation that you had last night?
I think the biggest thing is that I actually realized that the person that you or anyone see me is
Mhm.
just your belief about me.
Mhm.
It's there, you or me, and I can choose whatever way I want to present myself,
Uh-huh.
and they can accept it. But most people will,
Yeah.
because they can't see through it. It's like just.
I remember this moment for myself. The moment that you're talking about right now, where you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, this is really how life is?
Yeah.
Is it really this easy? Because it's like it's the last place you'd look. Is like, well, everyone's faking it, so I'll just change who I am, you know?
Yeah.
And I'll see what people do, and then people are like, oh yeah. And you're like, what? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know? That's when I first started figuring this stuff out too. I was like, let me just pretend to be somebody else. And when I noticed that nobody could tell the difference, I was like, something's weird,
Yeah.
you know? Like, this must be it. This is all that there is. It was just really silly to me. But hey, you know, you're playing a fun game. I think it was a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
And now you know, like, the simplest, most obvious secret in the world, which is that there is no you underneath all that crap that you think you are, you know?
And you can also, it goes both ways because you can see kind of the person you're talking to,
Oh, yeah.
what they are trying to present.
Yeah.
And it's like just a reflection of who they, how they think other people see them.
Yeah. You're seeing the fucking Matrix, dude. That's how it is. You're starting to see it.
Yeah.
Life gets very interesting from here on out. I have no idea what you're going to do, but it'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
You know? Well, that's a small realization. Just kidding. That's a big one. That was just a joke. That was a huge one. I'm not sure if that's obvious. Well, cool, man. I guess that's enough for me. I appreciate it.
So
Cool.
I-
Yeah, I bet. Freedom. What about you, Andre?
I was struggling a little bit in the beginning, actually. I think I was stuck in my head a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely know that I have to beat up my ego a lot before I can push through all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, last night I just stopped thinking about, trying putting things in a system, like the map of interaction, with thinking about it, being conscious about, what am I doing now? It just stressed me more.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took one lap and then I said, okay, fuck this, I need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, had a small time conversation with everyone. It seemed, open that if they weren't too close in a group or whatever, just started talking to people, dancing, having a great time. Yeah, it was a good night. Like after a while, it was like with him, it's just like, it can't be like this. And then it's like, yes, it is like this.
Yeah.
But
So have either of you guys actually tried messing with the world yet? After you had this realization?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Oh man, today's going to be a fun day though.
I'm sorry?
Today's going to be fun then.
Yeah.
Because you have day game today.
Yeah.
And the day game is like, in my opinion, my favorite place to trial this out, Like because you can actually create a vacuum of tension, in the person that you're talking to, because you're not afraid to walk up and talk to them, because why not? Why would you be afraid to? That was like a fear that maybe someone would see you as something weird, but you realize that that's just you projecting yourself everywhere.
Most of the time, they are the ones who are like put on the spot. They feel.
They are. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be you. It's just going to be them, and then they're going to be like, "Oh my God,"
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And also, like, I try to picture in my head that, if I walk down the street and someone stops me and just are being generally friendly, it's not like you're going to say that, well, get away from me, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think I have this thought in my head that you don't want to bother people. And also, I had trouble with doing that night game or going out to clubs because I felt it was so shallow, that it was all so false.
Yeah,
My
dude.
approach is just like, not false, because they know what I want and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I start to think. So
I know. I had the same feeling, and the truth is that it is, of course, it is false, right?
Right.
But so is everything else.
Right.
It's the same
That's
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, it's totally okay.
That's
Have a good time with it. That's what I'm saying. At a club, it's clearly false. Clearly. So at that moment, it's like, well, obviously this is all just a big joke. So why not just have a great time?
Right.
You know?
It's a game.
Yeah, it's just a big game. Exactly. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alberto.
Yeah, it was okay. It was better than the first one. And I was just going there without a goal, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
Just go there, just to at the beginning to be just with the other dudes and speaking and not caring about goals.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she's next to you, and yeah. And
That's the way to do it, dude. That's
so
That's what Connor and I were talking about when Connor says he has like a bubble of people that he sees around him only, and he doesn't see anybody else. He just sees them, and when a girl enters the bubble, it's like, okay, hey, there she is, That's how I do it too. It's the same exact way. It's like it doesn't matter if you go out to have a great time, you will meet chicks. If you go out to meet chicks, you will not have a great time. That's kind of how it is.
What then was bad was then, so I had a nice interaction with Mario,
Hmm.
and but then I didn't do it further. So then I don't know why.
That's okay.
Then I left. So then my energy
Started to drop.
Yeah.
That's because you started judging yourself.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, totally. Not maybe. You know, I'm not, I mean, you're telling me that's what you did. Obviously, that's what you did. So, okay. Well, where did you get? Were you like up here and then you didn't qualify, or?
She qualified herself many times.
She did.
Yeah.
Why did she have to do it more than once?
Because
I
I
don't
didn't
know,
want to
she
give
was
her
all
a
the
phone
time.
number.
She was all the time. So, and then so I asked.
Wait, hang on. How come she had to do that more than once? That's what I'm asking.
No, she was all the time.
Yeah, but why? Why was she doing that more than once? Why did she do that all the time? Why did that happen more than once at all?
She wanted to stay.
No, why'd she qualify herself?
Why?
Why'd she qualify herself more than once?
Because she wanted to show me.
Because you didn't accept her. That's why she kept doing it.
Ah, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You didn't accept her, so she didn't get to move on. That's the only thing you didn't do. Awesome. That's an easy one, isn't it? That's an easy one. Just remember that when you hear her, just go, wow, that's really awesome, actually. That makes you different than most of the women I've met at the end. Okay, great. Let's go over here now and have a serious conversation. That's all you have to do. Just that little thing. Before, this was the big hurdle, and now getting just past qualifying is the big hurdle. The only reason why is because after here, once you get here, it's like, it's game on, man. You're in, you know? That's a lot of pressure for you because you're still thinking that you have to prove to yourself that you can do this. And if you screw this up, you think you're never going to have this opportunity again. That's what you're thinking in your head. So that's why you're beating yourself up. But that's not true, though. You have to understand that's not true. That once you get through here, you're going to screw this up, man. Accept it now. You're going to screw this part up. Probably 10 times in a row, you won't be able to get past it, okay? Just accept that. Okay, so when you get to here, and she's ready to qualify herself, and she starts qualifying herself, then you accept her, you move into rapport, game's not over. You're still playing the game. Don't worry about screwing it up because you're going to. So you can't worry about that. It's like worrying about waking up whenever you're going to sleep at night. You won't ever be able to go to sleep. You'll just stay awake all night long, you know? Just go to sleep and wake up. It's going to happen. You're going to screw this up, you know? Just surrender to it, you know? Is that cool with you that you screw this up?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. That's what's really important, is that it's okay with you to screw it up, you know? Cool. So then you got through the entire attraction stage yesterday, which was awesome. And you went out without trying to pick up chicks, right?
Yeah.
Just to have a good time?
Yeah.
That's great, man. That's huge. Because this is what really going out is like, by the way. It's like go out to have a good time and then that's it. Like you go out to have a good time and you just do that in a place where there's a lot of women and then it just happens, you know? And then as soon as you get into the interaction, then you go bam, 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 you know, if you want to. But if you haven't done this yet all the way through and seen the whole thing work straight through from start to finish, then you got to do it at least once, you know? You have to do it by the book, you know, all the way through because it works, you know? Anytime you get like caught on something or confused about something, you just go back to the system and it works, you know? Well, cool. Good. That's great news. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and go as well. David? Hmm?
At that brilliant night, thought it was amazing. I was outside my head and I was one person.
Yeah?
Amazing.
What was the biggest realization or moment for you?
Basically, there's nothing to be scared of. I can walk up and talk to any girls especially, and even the ones that reject you.
Oh, yeah?
Fuck it, who cares? Doesn't matter.
Awesome.
Reject you, knock you back, but it doesn't matter.
Did you see any of this stuff happening yesterday?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to follow if I was saying too much. I could
Yeah, good. So then the next thing for you, maybe probably not today, but at some point in the future, is to just while you're not caring, because that's the mindset to have for sure, you know, is let that happen, and then as you interact with people, just start to go, I wonder where we are right now. Like, I wonder where we would be in the map of interaction right now. Just start to wonder that. You don't have to like, you know, go like freak out or anything. Just like when it comes to you, start to wonder. I wonder where we are, and then you'll be able to see it really clearly. And when you can see it, that's kind of what seeing the matrix is. That's what when I originally called this like saying that the process is called seeing the matrix. That's what the original concept is, that you can see the process going on, but there's obviously a deeper process, you know, a deeper process, which is like what you were talking about before, David, like the people projecting themselves out, and then you going, really, like You're seeing everybody as being like just fucking lying to you. Everybody's lying to you. And it's like, okay, well that's not a problem though. It's not annoying or like angering or like upsetting or offensive. It just is how people are. That's okay.
It's like the ego is like hungry for attention.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
Like you're not talking to them, you're talking to ego. That's okay. That's all right, you know? It's just kind of how it is. Now you know, like, whenever Tansi gets back, I guess we'll talk about this more maybe, but I think it was yesterday when he was like, I don't like the word lie. It's like, now you know how it's not a bad thing. I'm like, well, it's just you're lying. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like the word lie, then stop fucking lying, you know? But ultimately, yeah, it's kind of it's a similar process though of waking up basically for the very first time and seeing this. Now you're not going to stay awake. That's the part that you're entering into. You'll fall back asleep because it will keep happening. You'll forget. You'll get to your work. You'll like start to do something mindlessly, and then you'll fall back asleep again. And then you'll have to go, oh shit, what am I doing? You know. Now that could happen for 5 minutes. Could happen for 5 years or 20 years. When you fall back asleep, you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to keep reminding yourself to wake up again. You know, to always see this. You never will be able to sleep comfortably though. Again, unfortunately, you know, you never be able to just like forget that you know anything and then go back to being nobody. It just doesn't work like that. But it's cool. So then you got to let go. You know, finally, got to let go and just not give a shit about anything. You know, that's awesome. And then the next thing for you is going to be to see this happening as it happens. You know. So that's big news. Maybe that'll happen today, maybe not. It doesn't really matter, you know. But right now we're in a stage, you know. Do you know what stage we're in? Just guess.
Rapport.
Yeah. One rapport. What part of rapport do you think we're in? Well, wide is you answering, right? When you answer that question, we're in wide rapport. Before you answer that question, we're in lighter rapport, you know. But we keep going between light, wide, and deep right now, just because this is where most serious conversation happens. Does that make sense? So you can see it, you just haven't been looking, but you can. If we weren't like this and we were just all playful and joking around and stuff, you'd be able to see these stages, you know? But right now, all there is rapport. So you'll get it. You got it already. You just have to just look for it and ask yourself the question, I wonder what stage we're in right now, you know? Because then when you see that, if you know that we're in rapport, what do you know about this conversation? If you know that we're in rapport, what do you know about this conversation? What do you know about it? Like, what else do you know about this, what's going on right now if we're in rapport? Well, you can figure that out too, but what does it mean that we're in rapport? Like, what does that mean for you? How about this? I'll tell you what's possible. I'll tell you. It means that if you banter, you're going backward, right? So you know that if you make a joke right now that like breaks up the tension, that it could be seen as a step backward. If you keep doing it, it definitely is seen as a step backward. Does that make sense? That there's something beyond this that's action-oriented, you know, that we're getting to in the conversation. So now you know how to not go backward and how to go forward, just by sitting here knowing where you are. You also know that right now, everyone in this room, including yourself, is not feeling alone because we're in rapport, you know? So that's an illusion too. An illusion that you're not alone. And you know that there's probably a fear of being alone around this conversation too. Does that make sense? You can know a whole lot about rapport, about your situation, once you know where you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So that's I just want to kind of call that out for you so you can see it happening, you know? Because it's a really cool thing, obviously, to be able to know which way you're going. But it starts with seeing where you currently are. And clearly you can do it. You just have to trust yourself and try it out a little bit. Okay? Cool. Good job, man. Ian, interested to hear how your evening went after our conversation yesterday.
No, it went really well, actually. I was in my head a little bit at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was worried about Connor kept telling me, see the system, put it all together, because I know all the information.
Yeah.
But then I kind of let go and just decided to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me yesterday, you said this weekend was my reckoning, is what you told me.
Yeah.
And it's been that little voice in the back of my head ever And so I was counting in my head, and then I saw David approach these two girls, and he was talking to her friend, and I could see that her other friend was bored.
Yeah.
Like, and that David was going to lose the group
Yeah.
if I didn't do something, so I went to talk to her. And from there, I went step by step through the entire process, and before I knew it, she was undoing my belts on the dance floor.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations.
yeah.
So you used the whole thing.
I
And fucking holy crap, it worked.
Yeah, well, I mean, she didn't qualify herself, but she said it was loud. Like, she couldn't hear me.
She wanted to go in rapport.
So then I put out my hand, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
And I walked her to somewhere quiet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then we talked a bit, and then...
She probably did qualify herself, but there's so many thousands of subtle ways to qualify yourself. It's like, you know. But great, man. Awesome. So did you end up like hanging out with her for a while and then you split, or what happened?
Actually, it was going really well, and then I don't know, I was like, hey, let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to walk her away, but then her friend grabbed her arm, who was with David.
Ah.
And then she's like, no, I'm sorry, my friend's staying at my house tonight. So and like from there, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. You're like, do I continue or not continue? Whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
Have a good night. So
Yeah.
no, it was really good.
Awesome.
That was,
Congratulations, man.
yeah.
Yay. That's good news. Cool. I don't really have much to say about that except congratulations. And, you know, I guess right then you had a place, you had a movement from rapport into seduction, and that, or from bouncing her back from the place that you were, hello, to go to your house. All you need now is a series of things that you can say or do to overcome those different resistance, not resistance, but the logistics really is what it is.
Logistics,
Yeah. We went over a bunch of that in the last boot camp at the end, didn't we? A whole bunch of logistics stuff. We got that on audio, right?
I don't know if we recorded that.
That would be cool if we did. I'm not sure, and we won't know for a while because we're gonna have to transcribe all those things. Okay, well I guess that I don't want to get too deep into it right now, but whenever you have groups like that, you have to anticipate this coming.
Okay.
You will next time, you know, and you have to take care of those objections early, you know. Like you'll have to bring her back into the group and meet her friend and talk to her friend and stuff. And then be like, and then introduce your friend to the idea that you guys are thinking about leaving, going somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
And be like, you want to come with us? And then you go somewhere else. Or you find somebody who's good with women, who you think who isn't like making rounds, because we were making rounds, right? Just talking to a bunch of people, right? So when her friend was alone, you'd find somebody who you think is pretty good. Someone that you have seen in the bar, someone that you know, maybe, anybody, doesn't matter who it is, somebody to talk to this girl, you know? So that her mind is totally occupied by somebody else. Because really what she's thinking is, she's not leaving me alone at this bar. That's really what she was saying. Not, she's staying at my house tonight, you know? And like, it's disguised as like, I care for my friend, like thing. But that's not really what's going on there. I mean, I'm sure there's a slight bit of that.
Yeah.
But really it's that she's afraid of being alone, just like everybody else,
Yeah.
you know? So all you have to do is handle that objection, and then it's fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I felt the biggest thing was like non-neediness.
Yeah.
'Cause once I realized that it doesn't matter like what happens in this interaction, whether or not I get something from this girl, like who cares?
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of others. And as soon as just negative body language with like once you get into seduction, like there's the sexual tension. Because I already kissed her and taken care of that, but triangulate or whatever.
Yeah.
You call it, which is golden.
Which is amazing, by the way.
It's unbelievable. Like you just know. As soon
It's
as
awesome, man.
They have this look in their eyes. Like you just know. Like I don't know. It's a little bit weird, but
I had to break it. I had to reverse. Well, I didn't really reverse engineer that. I did, but I had heard concepts of this before I tried it out like consciously.
yeah,
And I remembered back in my life and all the times that I'd actually had done that and it worked
yeah,
because I'd seen it in movies, you know, where they're like getting close to kiss and then it's like looking at each eye over and over again and then down their lips. And I'm like, that seems like a movie I'm about to kiss you thing, you know? But I didn't expect it to work in real life too. And then I tried it out and I was like, holy shit, it's pretty phenomenal. Have you guys ever tried, who in here has tried triangulation yet? Just 2 people? 3? besides Brad and Connor, and maybe Dieter. Dieter, have you tried it yet? It's like fucking the most money thing in the universe. So as you're going through rapport, and you're like starting to get, you know, intimate with this girl, if you look at one of her eyes, then the other eye, then her eye, other eye again, and then down at her mouth, and then, you know, back and forth between her eyes and down at her mouth, like that a few times, and then she starts doing it back to you just once, like looks down at your mouth for a second, she wants to kiss you. It's like clockwork every single time. So all you have to do is do it to her, and then she'll do it back because she wants to mirror you in that moment. And then I just say, it's okay. And she goes, what's okay? And I go, you can kiss me. I want to kiss you too. And then she kisses me. I don't have to even lean in for the kiss. She'll lean in for the kiss to kiss me. But then when you start seeing that work so much, eventually you'll just stop asking. And you're like, you see it happen, then you're like, go in for a kiss, then you pull back, you know, just for a second, like make her want it more. Just like a really fun way of teasing her, you know? And that's a really great thing to do. But triangulation is like the fucking most powerful thing ever, dude. It's like it's one of those techniques that it's so powerful it made it through my filter of killing all my techniques that didn't work, like, or that worked but weren't like amazing and absolutely necessary. It's one of the ones that I was like definitely bringing that one in because it's so awesome. It's right up there with negative body language, like takeaways, you know.
And that's even like even when I was in seduction, I still like you would, I don't know, you're kind of there, but then you take it away a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like every time I did it, it just
escalated.
Yeah, she just like it was like boom, boom, like it just kind of ramped it up, and this tension was just building and building and building. Really, really, really cool.
Yay!
And I mean, I just kind of started.
Fuck, man, you're fucking 21. God damn. And you figured this shit out, and you're 21 years old. That's pretty awesome. Now you just gotta, don't die. That would be horrible. Stay alive forever. No, I'm kidding, of course. You can die. You have my permission to die. Anyway, great job. Congratulations on pushing through the whole thing and seeing the whole thing work from start to finish, you know? That's awesome news. Yeah, of course. All right, Ewout,
So, well,
what was your evening like?
not that much of a success story, and about the same thing as Arjan had at the beginning of the night. There was too much in my head, and when we were at the club, it was quite noisy, but okay. I couldn't think of anything good to say to a girl. Even Brad advised me, I said, oh, I say that to a girl. I said, I know I haven't got the right intention at this moment, so it won't work. I said, okay, go to somewhere quiet place, think a little bit, take your time, and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards I started dancing, just having fun,
Mm-hmm.
and claiming my space, because that was a good thing. Yeah, you saw it happen there. When I was having fun, that was quite a revelation. I saw that people were going to the side. Oh, I have space on the dance floor. That worked quite well.
I think
every now and then people pass by.
and they were afraid that you're going to bring the whole chandelier
Yeah,
down.
there was something there. I touched it every now and then. People,
Chandelier 4 meters.
Yeah.
David tried to
Glass
jump
coming
to
down,
reach
you
it.
know?
Swinging.
He couldn't reach it at
Yeah.
all. He was like this. Oh.
Yeah.
This is quite a few times. And then the monkey thing worked.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Awesome.
So, well, but it was, maybe it was my ego, but it was really quite noisy over there. It was very difficult to speak. And yeah, it's an I would say an automatism I have for that many years to go packing, to go
Yeah, yeah.
down, to communicate.
It's a habit, yeah.
To hear what they're saying is quite difficult to overcome that.
It's pretty simple to overcome it. You just need something to do instead. Let me just tell you what to do instead. Because you're so tall and because you're so obvious, most of the women that see you are going to think that other women want you immediately, right? You're going to be pre-selected because you're so obvious to see. So, and most women are, talk about dating tall men all the time. So most of your work is already done. Does that make sense?
No, not at all.
All you have to do is just take up space,
what you're saying, but-
right? Take up space, right? And be non-needy, which is easy because you can't hear anybody because they're like a mile away from your ears, you know?
I didn't
So that's fine.
talk at that moment.
Exactly, so you didn't
I was
care.
having fun.
Exactly, so stay that way.
Yeah.
And then whenever you find a girl that wants to talk to you, go straight in rapport. Just be like, hey, come on over here, and then go sit down. That's it.
Like that, because I had a few people grab me by the arm. I wanted to dance, and I did that, and
Yeah.
I was thinking at the same time, what am I going to do next?
Yeah, what do I do next?
I cannot communicate.
Yeah, but this is not about communicating verbally. All of these stages aren't about communicating verbally.
Mm.
This is all about body language.
Yeah.
Through here.
Yeah, what we discussed later, because I said to Ryan and I said to you when we were walking back, the only thing you do at a club that is that noisy is body language.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, even being, I'm 5'10", maybe 5'9", you know, and I have just about the same. I'm just about the same height as all the women, maybe a little bit taller than all the women, you know. And I'm like right by their ears, and I can still barely hear anything that's going on. It's not that you're so tall that you can't talk to anybody. It's like, I mean, I'm shorter too, man. I can't hear either. It's the same thing, you know.
Yeah, okay. It's just the packaging. I wanted to avoid. Say you stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
You stand up.
A girl like that.
Yeah, and then you do stuff like, hey, all right, high five. And she's like, you know, joking around, you know. But anyway, the whole point is that you joke around, you give negative body language a few times, and then you go, let's go over here. And then you pull her and you go into rapport with her, fast.
Okay.
And when you isolate her, you can also qualify her real quick if you want to, you know. But you're just going to do things a tiny bit differently. That's all, because you don't realize that most of the work's already done for you, because you're so tall. It's really that you're so obvious. It's so easy to see you, so every woman can see you, so every woman does see you. So when a woman thinks that every woman sees you, right, she automatically assumes that every woman wants you, right? Yeah, of course, because that's how. Okay, so this is important. This is important, right?
Yeah.
Because think about this. Why do guys who are on TV, like who are stars on TV, even if they're not good-looking guys, how come they get women? Why is it?
Yeah, everybody knows them.
Everyone knows who they are, and everyone who knows who they are knows that everyone else knows who they are. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Just like in bands, you're standing up on stage. Everyone's looking at you, and not just that. It's not just from the audience I look up and I go, oh, I can't help but notice that guy. It's that I look around and I go, nobody can help but notice that guy. Everybody's noticing this guy.
Yeah.
Man, if he starts talking to me, holy shit, that'll mean that I'm the most important person in this room. Does that make sense?
Yes, I never looked at it.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. That's okay, but that's the truth, right? So all you have to do is take up your space, be non-needy, and do whatever the fuck you want. Which, trust me, no one's gonna fuck with you anyway. Like, you know, you're doing whatever you want, it won't matter, you know. So you do whatever you want, have a good time, and then when a girl's interested, you just go, all right, let's go over here. Boom. Sit down so that you can kind of hear her a little bit better, and then talk to her, and then that's it. Qualify her if you want to. Go into rapport like twice, then make out with her, and then leave. You're fucking done, dude. It's really easy. You don't realize that this is how easy it is for you.
That's my problem.
No, it's not your problem. It was your problem. It's not your problem anymore.
No.
You know?
Because what I noticed, and it was already clear Friday night, but people yesterday I thought were a little bit more uptight and more egos.
Maybe.
So the contact was at the beginning. Maybe that was my problem at the beginning. So
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I didn't know how to get the contact.
Well, here's an important point, though. You know, for this thought process that you're just saying.
Yeah.
You're noticing that it's all their egos everywhere, right? And everyone's uptight, right? But what is ego? It's a lie, right?
Yeah. In fact, I think it's partly it's insecurity.
Of course, it's insecurity, but don't even think about it like that. Think about it like it's the lie that everyone tells themselves. You're telling yourself a lie too. You're doing the same thing as everyone else is, right? It's okay. It's okay that there's a bunch of ego there. But what do you know about ego? You know there's nothing behind it. You know that behind it there's nothing. There's a fear of aloneness behind it, right? So you know that what they're doing, being all uptight and stuff, it's really just like a thing they think they have to do.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is give them a better option, and they'll fucking take it, I promise. This is called having them buy your reality. So,
That's what you said. They want to get into your world
because it's more fun, right?
Yeah.
Than their lie. Their lie is not so fun. Your lie is super fun, so they'll come into yours, right? Also, this is also called a frame battle. A frame battle is them buying into your frame is another way of calling it. But a frame battle is the idea that when you meet someone for the first time, there's two sets of lies going on, right? Their lies and your lies. And when you meet, you're going, whose lies are better? That's what you're doing, right? And so you're like, no, and you run into some problems, right? And eventually, either you let go of some of your lies and you take theirs, or they let go of some of their lies and they take yours, or you realize you have all the exact same lies, which is rare, you know? but then not a good thing necessarily, just like we all have the same lies. So what ends up happening, though, is that everyone takes the path of least resistance. Everybody will buy into the reality of the person who's the most fun, basically, in that moment, who's believing the things that they want to believe that they're too afraid to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now you know why people are drawn to me. Because my reality is truth, only truth, right? So whenever you show up with lies, which everyone does, into my life, then they see that I'm existing without lies, and that's interesting to them, right? Very interesting. And so everyone here begins to drop all their lies and adopt what I'm doing while I'm here, because everyone buys into my frame, you know? If I had any other lies, it wouldn't matter if I had other lies, you guys would probably be a lot more resistant to drop your lies, because what you're letting go of is what you think you are, you know? It's what you identify as a person, these little lies that we tell ourselves. So it has to be so obviously better, and it has to make so much sense that it's worth it for you to drop your personality to want to be, you know? Yeah. So I found out that there are two ways to do it. There's lie and tell people that you're lying, you know? Like, hey guys, this is all not really true, but who cares? I'm becoming whoever I want to, and this is who I want to be, right? And then that's interesting, because you're like, oh, well, can I do the same thing, right? Oh, maybe. That's exciting, right? So people want to be around me. But there's another way of doing it, too, that I didn't even think of. I just kind of stumbled on it, and that is just not believing any fucking lies, you know? The whole conversation's about not believing any lies. Anything that happens is about not believing lies. It's about waking up, you know? That's just kind of how it is. So when you guys showed up here, you know, you probably saw before that I could manipulate the world around me. That's what drew you here, you know? But what's beneath that is how I'm able to do that. That's what you want to gain while you're here, you know? And that's what I'm telling you. I know how to do it, because I did it. Consciously I did it. Because you don't do it on accident. It doesn't happen on accident. It's too intense to happen on accident. I wish it could. I wish I could go to sleep and wake up, like take a pill and then wake up and I'm awake, you know? Don't give a shit anymore, you know? But that's not really how it is. It's more like Jeb McKenna describes it, like having every layer of your skin ripped off excruciatingly, one at a time, until there's nothing left. You know?
Feels that way.
Yeah.
It's starting to feel that way.
Yeah, it does. You know? Every layer of your skin is like a lie that you identify as. Something that you think makes you who you are, that you could never possibly let go of. You know?
That's what you said a while ago, because I was realizing that yesterday. I was there, I was in my old frame of mind,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I got back from the back of the club, I started dancing and swinging out. Nothing interested me anymore. I was like, what am I doing? But what the fuck? I was completely different from
Yeah.
how I'm normal,
How you was. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you were, rather. Not how you normally are. You have to change this. Because it's not how you normally are.
Now,
How you used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is important, because your brain will start to tell you to use the old words that you used to use because it's easier. But don't do that.
No.
Don't say the old words. Don't say that, like, oh, normal. Like, that's how you normally are. Nah, dude, fuck that. You haven't even tasted normal yet.
You just made a change. And
Yeah. You're getting closer to normal.
Yeah, in fact that is, but I was realizing that, I was thinking, what's happening over here?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Such a crazy realization. That's a wild one.
So when I went out, I thought it was a bad night, but I came to realize it wasn't that bad after all.
Sounds awesome, man. I mean, it sounds like a great night to me, but yeah.
We were just like center of the dance floor.
Yeah, I felt that way. I was at the center, everybody, or everybody, but there were girls at the side and they were looking at,
I was like,
back, you know.
I was like, hey, we're done. And you're like, that's cool. I'm going to stay here and dance.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what I
Like,
said, yeah.
that's awesome.
It was great.
So you didn't believe me first either, because these two women, when I said that, they were asking about you, right? Because, hey, where's your tall friend? I said, well, if you take a look around, I'm sure you're going to find it.
Yeah.
That's what I said, yeah.
I see plastic got all red, so I just said, no, I'm just joking with you. He's right over there. Go and talk to him. He's a nice guy. And she didn't dare to, so that's why I told you that, hey, those girls, they're waiting for you over there.
What were you telling me?
Yeah, and you
Aha.
I don't care. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
It was so freaking noisy over there. I still have a problem with my money here.
Yeah.
All the time. So.
But this is interesting though. Yeah, you got to accept that this is happening all the time. You know,
I can't believe it.
that girls are sitting around talking about you, like, trying to be like, go talk to him. No, I don't want to talk to him. He'll come over and talk to me if he wants to talk to me. Like that's the conversation they're having. Just like a bunch of dudes to be like, go talk to her, pussy. You go talk to her. No, you go talk to her. Oh, you don't have any balls. Like, you know what I mean? If this girl knew this conversation was happening, she'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Why don't you just walk over here and talk to me? You know? Just like, you know, if that girl had walked over and been like, hi, you're really awesome. I want to suck your dick. You'd be like, okay, that's great. I'm dancing right now, but we can do that later. You know? Like, you probably really appreciate that, but she's not going to do that. You have to assume that that's happening, you know?
You have to get in it.
Yeah, and Andre, in that opportunity for you, if I were you in that situation, I would have been like, hold on a second. Just walk over and get a woot and come back and be like, here he is, you know? And just drop him off there, you know? And she'd be like, really like, yeah, super nervous, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how it is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, really, here's the real question you want to ask yourself. Why? Why did she ask you where your tall friend was when obviously you can look around and see him? That's the question. Why? Because she wants someone to tell him that she liked him.
Yeah.
That's why. And she knew that you were friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted you to tell him that she liked him so that he would come over and talk.
Right.
That's what she wanted. Now you know why.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. It's a very thinly veiled lie, you know? It's like obviously that's what's going on there. But when you start to see this, okay, cool, just do it, you know? It's like you're a little puppet master, you know? Like, all right, let me just see this show happen. You want to be entertained? All right. Let's get the tallest guy in the room and a girl who's really nervous to talk to him and put them together and watch what happens. You know? Watch what happens, really. It could be very fun to watch, you know? This is like the whole world's your playground, you know? And this is, just have a good time with it, you know? Anyway, awesome. Good job.
Yeah, after all, yeah, thanks.
Christian, what was the biggest sort of, the thing you missed was a question. What was the biggest revelation you had, like realization you had last night?
I need a baseball bat.
Okay, for all your crap in your mind or for what?
For my ego.
Yeah, that's how it
This
is.
is a mean motherfucker.
Yes, it is. It's a son of a
I think
bitch.
it's probably because I built him up. I'm
Yeah, of course you
kind
did.
of proud of him. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah.
worked really hard to like get the results I have gotten.
Yeah.
And so, well, I developed approach anxiety like a couple of years ago because I didn't used to have it at all.
Uh-huh.
And I developed it, and so I got into my mind a lot. So I was just trying to push myself to like talk to anyone, do anything.
Right.
But then I just figured out that when I like gave someone a compliment, instead of looking into their eyes to kind of gauge their reaction,
Mm-hmm.
I just give them the compliment and then turn away,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of miss the whole
Reaction.
learning experience from what I actually did.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's a combination of running away because you're afraid from the action,
Right.
and the fact that I used to have like bad eyesight, so I couldn't see people's
okay.
eyes, so I never really learned to read eyes.
Ah,
'cause
okay.
When you can't see them, it's like
Yeah. What's the point of
why-
reading
why
them?
look for something you can't see? It's like
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I just have to like work on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Gauge the reaction and start to, like David said, we talked a lot about it when he came home. To just watch
Yeah.
and see like the light twisting around. It's like there,
Yeah.
and you can pick it apart. It's fun. And
It's so fun.
well, okay, maybe I ran a little away and just, but I went
Yeah.
around and talked to a lot of people, and
Yeah.
I went outside and I found 4 British chicks and just sat down and dominated everyone and was the center of attention and had fun and played FMK and
Uh-huh.
just, yeah, whatever.
This is fucking ridiculous. I'm like, this is. I've never had a boot camp where I went around and pretty much everybody had the same realization. You know, like where you can start to see everything. But I've never taught this either, start to finish through a boot camp. You know what I mean? I've never been like, I've never come out and said it. You know why I never came out and said it? Because I was like, nah, people aren't ready to hear this. You know, like, you didn't come here for this.
Now it was really hard for me at first. Yesterday when we were walking to eat, you could see it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I know.
really conflicted.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You know, I was thinking about that afterwards, and I wanted to tell you something about it. Just kind of the thing that I didn't say to you in the moment, because I saw in that moment that what you needed to hear was just, I just needed to basically let you go through your shit, you know. So I did. I was like, well, you're right that they're not. One of them is not going to be able to survive this process, you know. One of those beliefs is not going to be able to survive this process because you have two conflicting beliefs, you know. Something you used to believe and something that you're currently understanding is true. And so one of them is going to lose. But what I really think, honestly, is that just take whatever makes sense from everything, you know? You don't have to identify as one thing. Don't ever identify as anything, really. I mean, that's the first problem, really. You start to identify as something like, I'm a brother, I'm a coworker, I'm whatever the fuck it is in your head, the roles you play, those are the things that confine you. Don't do those. Don't believe in those things, you know? So just don't call yourself anything, you know? You're fine as long as you don't call yourself anything. Then beyond that, just take whatever makes sense to you, man, you know? If it doesn't make sense, just don't take that part. There's plenty of things, there are plenty of things that you know already in your head that as you go back and revisit those lessons that you remember that are familiar to you that you've heard 1,000 times that didn't make sense until now. Now they're going to make sense, and you're going to understand that everything's saying the same thing. And then there's part of your old beliefs that you're going to have to let go because you're going to realize they don't make any sense now. They never made any sense, but you can clearly see that there's fear wrapped around it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
That's my realization
Yeah.
at dinner. I was like, oh, it was painful.
it's so
And then it was like,
painful.
Fuck it, I don't want to be afraid anymore.
Yeah.
And if I believe something because I'm afraid of what might happen, but fuck that.
Yeah. Awesome.
I
was thinking.
trying to manipulate you a little bit to beat on my ego. So
Well, you don't even have to manipulate me. You can just ask me. But if you want to try, you can. If you want to challenge, you can do it. But awesome, man. I'm glad that you kept that thought going because I thought about you last night a few times too, and I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get the chance to talk to him about this later. You know, to say the thing that I wanted to say, because you could have come back today. It could have been anything, dude. That was the crucial moment for you. You know, the moment whenever you're realizing that you're taking the new things you're learning and you're going, but wait a second, what about my whole fucking life? That's when you do that, you're like, whoa, everything I look at over here is fucking a lie. Ah, fuck. You know?
I visited that pain like 5 or 6 times since then.
Yeah.
And kind of run a little bit.
Yeah.
To go back and visit it again and
Yeah.
poke at it. And I figured if I keep poking, something's got to burst.
It will, for sure. And it's okay for you to run away for a second too. It's okay for you to go, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't want to see that right now. And then, because you won't stop thinking about it. You know? You'll run away and you'll go, what the fuck was that? And you know you have to go back. Of course. Anytime you run away from something, you know you have to go back. That's the whole point. That's how you can tell. So you'll get a fear, you'll stop, you'll understand the fear. Don't do it for too long. You start to understand the fear too much, then you'll get wrapped up in it. You won't even experience it. You'll just be so frightened that you'll have to have some kind of other way out, you know? But I don't think it's going to happen to you. I think that you're seeing that. I think you're seeing it. You're seeing the truth now. And everything that's not the truth is going to be so annoying to you. Like, everything is going to annoy the shit out of you. That's not the truth. And for a while, you're going to see everything in your life as being false, you know? Probably, especially when you go back. Can you imagine? You know? Does everyone here have an apartment? Like, does anyone not have a place to live? Just me. I'm the only person who has a place to live, you know? You're going back to a world that you created out of a lie after this, you know? The whole world is. And everyone there expects you to live back into the lie again. It's going to be fucking wicked. It's going to be a moment of decision for you, you know? But that's your decision to make, not mine.
But
Yep.
I have a question about how can I kind of, when I'm out trying this, how can I, like, is there a trick to remind myself, hey, where am I now? What's going on? Where in the system am I at?
Yeah. So you usually go out at nighttime probably, right? After, let's say, 10 p.m. So between the hours of 10 p.m. and midnight, right? Set an alarm on certain days, maybe just the weekends, that every 20 minutes your phone buzzes in your pocket and you pick it up and it's got a question. That's how you do it, you know? You just set a series of alarms that go off that remind you shit at a certain time. Because there's no other, I mean, there's ways to do it. I used to write something down in my pocket. And then, because I'd always go in my pocket for something at some point in the evening, and then I'd feel the note, and then I'd open it up and I'd read it and I'd put it back, you know? But if you have an alarm on your phone, it's way easier. The iPhones didn't exist when I first started doing this, so I was like, you know, using the alarm on my phone was not even a thought that crossed my mind. But I had a phone that had an alarm on it that I could have used, I just didn't even think about it. So all you have to do is write a note, whatever the thing you want to remember, whatever it is, you write a note in your phone and set the alarm to do it. Or if you don't want to do that, or in addition to doing that, write it and put it as your background on your phone, write it and put it as your background on your computer, and write it and fold it up and put it in your wallet, and also write it down and fold it up and put it in your pocket. Put it everywhere so that there's just bombs everywhere. Put it like above your toilet so when you're taking a piss you see it, you know? Just get a bunch of Post-it notes, you know? Just use them everywhere. Remind yourself. You have to remind yourself in the outside world, you know? And the question you might have could be, what stage am I in right now? Could be a question you ask while you're out, you know? And then, you know, while you're at home, you could ask yourself other questions. Like, what do you actually know is true? That kind of question, you know? The things that you, as you go through your notes or as you remember this or talk about this stuff, you'll have these questions in your mind, you know? The questions you need to remind yourself to ask so that you don't fall asleep again. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about staying awake. You know what I mean? And facing your fears. Because as soon as you start running away from your fears, you fall back asleep again. Because the only way to run away from your fears is to sleep. That's the only way. You know? And I understand that. That desire, it's like, come on, man. I totally get that.
Oh, I love running.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for many years.
Yeah, you get good at it, you know? The thing is that it becomes its own sport. Who can run away from their fears faster, you know? Or better. And it's like the most celebrated sport in the history of humanity.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a laptop by my computer just playing things until I pass out.
Yeah,
I
Brad.
never have to.
Brad used to do the same thing. He used to watch TV every evening. He couldn't go to sleep unless the TV was on. You know?
Just because then it's no quiet, it's no alone time. I don't have to deal with the hate for the lies.
Yeah.
Or the punishing yourself because you didn't perform the way you think you should have.
Right. Brad was, and really, by the way, the way this all came about for Brad was that he had that moment of realizing that that he actually is alone. That's what that's afraid of. That's what you're afraid of. When you go to sleep at night and you close your eyes and you see the nothingness there, that's the scary part, you know. But it's really not that scary. I think it's very nice actually, because it's real. It's reality. You know, do you remember the thing I said yesterday? I'm alone in the dark forever with nothing to do. That's what the fear is. This entire world is basically built around that fear. And if you can sit with that, not be afraid of it, just be like, okay, you're alone. All right, let's take that part first. There's no one else here but you. You're alone. All right, just like when you go to sleep, you're the only one there, right? You go to sleep.
I think I actually woke up for like a minute when I was 7.
Oh, really?
I remember walking home,
Uh-huh.
and then suddenly it dawned on me. I'm me, just floating around in this nothingness inside, a shell looking out.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, the universe made sense for like a minute.
Yeah.
Walking home. Wow.
Crazy, huh?
And it was like, I'm me. I just looked around
And you're in awe. Like,
Yeah, it's
holy
like-
crap.
I remember it so vividly. I've told people about it
Yep.
over the years, like my mentors and people who have meant things to me, and and a couple of them was the smart people. Like, that's so awesome to realize when you're 7. Cool. I just figured it out.
Well, this is amazing because you're seeing, how old are you now?
27.
27, so 20 years ago. You're seeing a 20-year-long synchronicity, a moment in your life that has been waiting to happen for 20 years. From the moment you realized this, and then you ran away from fear because of fear, there's fear there. Because you started to wonder, what does this mean? That was the beginning of you probably being afraid, right? I'm alone, shit. I don't want to be alone, I'm unsafe. All the things that you had in your mind when you were 7, the scary parts, you know? 20 years have gone by for you to realize this again, basically. you had to go on a journey and come back. Now you're back, you know? But now the rest of your journey is not going to sleep again, you know? You understand what it's like to be asleep. Your journey's a lot like mine. Like, you just wanted to show yourself that you could do it. And you did. The end, right? You can let it go now. And now it's the process of undoing all those lies. That's the hard part, really, is facing all your fears. You know what I mean? Yeah. The fears that you built up to keep yourself going on this path to prove to yourself that you could do it, okay? So you go through, you destroy all those, you know, by surrendering to them, really. Like sitting in them and going, like you did yesterday, you know? Okay, I might be believing something that's a lie. Fuck. And my whole life is built around this. Okay. You know, what does that mean? Like, you got to sit with yourself and go, okay, it's a lie. Then just, if you have to cry, fucking cry, you know? If you do, you do. Let it out. If you don't cry, then you're afraid of crying. Then you have another fear you're running away from, you know? You just let it go. And when you let it go, it goes away. And then you clean your life up, you know? You don't go keep doing the same shit that you were doing before. All the stuff that you used to do, you go, hey, I don't care what I lose because of this, but I can't do that anymore, you know? That's just not who I am. Just like everyone, I mean, I'm like I said, I run a pretty big company. It's clear to me that I can't keep doing what I was doing, which is like walking into the office and sitting down and like thinking about shit and trying to get work done. That's clearly not what I'm here to do, you know? So what does that mean? I don't know. But it means that my involvement in my business is going to change when I get back, you know? It's already changed, you know? I don't know what it'll mean, but I don't even care because it doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. That was all part of the old thought process. I think that the company will still stay together, though. I have a feeling that we made it a funnel through which people can wake up, you know? So I have a feeling that it will consistently stay and that it will evolve into something bigger than it is now. Bigger than it is right now. And it's already really big. But it will really have very little to do with me, I think. I think that it'll have something to do with everyone around me. Because I think that people will want to come through this process and wake up on the other side. You know what I mean? I think.
So
Just
you build Fight Club?
Kind of.
Fuck Club, if you want.
Yeah, fuckclub.com. But yeah, kind of, you know. Like, yeah, you know. I don't really know. I don't know what it's about, but it's definitely about waking up for me, you know. And it seems to be about that way for Brad and Connor. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing, you know. Clearly, Brad, from what Brad, what you experienced yesterday. Clearly, that's how it is for Brad. Connor, I'm guessing the same for you. We haven't talked about it too much, though. But there we go. Well, then I guess it is. Because that's what it sounds like.
Just like the movie script, you said yourself, you just woke up, started to figure shit out. You built a big company.
Yeah, well, while I was asleep, while I was asleep, like you had that moment when you were 7, you know, and then you went into the sleep state and you sat there knowing that was the truth in the beginning, and you're able to kind of do things. And then eventually you forget that you're just pretending, you know, and then all of a sudden, then you get lost again, right? But I had that moment when I was a little bit older, maybe when I was younger too, but when I was about 20 or 19 years old, I had that major wake up moment, and then I went in and I moved things around. Hey, man, welcome. We saved you your favorite seat, the hardest seat to get to. Cool.
I recorded the whole
So, anyway, so the point I was making, I guess, at the end of all this is that when I woke up and then I kind of went back to sort of believing the lie again, or at least I honestly couldn't handle the truth. The truth was too much for me. It was like, it scared me. It didn't scare me up until the point when I realized I was really alone, like for real. Not like it was kind of coming to me in layers where I was like, I'm alone, yay, that's awesome. Like I don't have to worry about doing anything. Then I was like, I'm alone. Wait a second, I'm really alone? Like no one is here? Even if I meet people and they're here and I talk to them, it's like, they can't be something for me, you know? Like I can't count on anybody in my life. That was a really scary thing for me. So I was like, but everyone in society says that you need to count on each other. That's how we keep you here, you know? Otherwise, you'd be off doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do, you know? And so I was like, but I can't do that, so I need to leave. And I had this moment where I had to decide if I was going to leave or not, you know? And I decided to stay because I was afraid of death, basically, of aloneness, of falling out of existence. I was afraid of not living forever, like not having my ideas live on forever or something, and like be remembered. But, you know, at the end of the day, the sun at some point will swallow the earth, you know? And every artifact of human history is gone when that happens, except the radio waves that are beaming out in outer space that may be picked up at some point and then will disappear, you know, in the future, maybe. But then eventually, what most likely will happen is either the universe will keep expanding and planets and suns will get so far away from each other that the heat won't be there anymore, and then life as we know it will cease to exist because everything will be frozen. Or you'll have what's called the Big Crunch, which is the opposite of the Big Bang, you know, where everything goes back into a singular point. So regardless of what happens, you're not going to be remembered. No one's going to remember you. No one will be here to remember you. Nothing will be here to remember you, you know, at the end of the day. So this is it. This is what you got right here. This one life, it seems. I don't really know, but at the very least, I'm not going to fuck around with it. I'm just going to be honest, you know? That's just kind of how I feel. But I had to kind of get lost for a long time to see that too, you know? That's how I feel. That's just my view. It was really a hope, like kind of Brad was talking about. The hope that maybe somehow I will be remembered, you know? And then you see people in history and you're like, Jesus, he's remembered by everybody, you know? Or Muhammad. Like, there are people. There are concepts like God, right, that are remembered by everybody. But when there's no one there to remember anymore, what the fuck happens? You know? Nothing. Just ceases to exist. That's okay. You know? Because really, at the end of the day, it's not really about living forever. It's about being okay with dying and disappearing. And never having had any meaning to your life in the first place. You know? Any purpose to your life. And if you can sit with that, then this whole thing becomes a playground, you know? And it's very fun. And it's like a lucid dream, and it's very, very, very fun, you know? But if you want to believe the lie that I wanted to believe, which is that, you know, that I can live forever somehow, hopefully, maybe, then it becomes a major struggle, and then this whole experience sucks, you know? So I just don't want to believe the lies anymore, that's all, you know? I just want to be here and experiencing it. Whatever, I don't know if there's a reason why I'm here or not. I can't imagine that. I'm not going to understand it if there is one. I'm definitely not going to understand it while I'm here, because there's no way for me to tell. No matter how many crazy dreams I have that tell me otherwise, like, I'm just going to say the truth. The truth is that I don't fucking know. But I've definitely noticed if something weird is going on, you know? Something very strange is happening here. Some weird coincidences that are too coincidental to be just coincidences. And they seem to be happening in the minds of everybody around me too, not just me. Like, not just me in my head, where I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Or like, you know, strange. Like you pick up a Scrabble board and it falls on the ground and then the letters spell out awake or something. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? You know, like there's too many, the probability is too low, you know, for that to happen all the time. So something weird is happening, but even if nothing weird was happening, even if it was just nothing that was going on here, I can't go back to sleeping, you know? It's just a nice added bonus that something weird seems to be going on, and I don't know what it is, but there's something. And I see it all the time. Now I do. I couldn't see it before, though, when I was, you know, lying to myself. It wasn't anywhere then. It was as if, I'm sure it was there. It had to be. Looking back, I can kind of tell that there were times in my life when I wrote things off as being like just coincidences that are strange. Like, I thought I had to convince myself that it was interesting to me, like just a coincidence that whenever I went to go visit Costa Rica, Kelsey happened to have moved there. I mean, she was in New Zealand before that. And I didn't live in Costa Rica either. I'd never been to Costa Rica, and my business partner, who's now my business partner, he's like, let's go to Costa Rica, specifically Costa Rica. And I said, great, because I'm in New York and it's starting to get cold. I don't want to be here, you know? So he was like, okay, great. So we'll go to Costa Rica. We'll brainstorm about the book. And I was like, man, this guy's a baller. Like, let's fly to Costa Rica. We have to both fly to Costa Rica if we're going to go there, you know? It'd be better if he was like, I'm going to come to New York or you come to California. Like, it would have made sense to do that. But we both went to Costa Rica. But he had these free flights on JetBlue. And JetBlue flew to Costa Rica from New York and from San Francisco. So he was like, why not? Let's do it. So I was like, okay. You know? Had nothing to do with anything else. I wasn't thinking about anything. Kelsey lived in New Zealand. I was like, I wasn't going there thinking I was going to meet her. But I was wondering if she was going to come back into my life now that she popped up out of nowhere. You know, I saw her on Facebook. And I was like, holy shit, there's that girl. There's the girl I can't stop thinking about that I wouldn't go looking for, you know? But she found me. She popped up. And I was like, oh, whatever, it's just a coincidence, but I'll click and see what's going on. And I started kind of browsing, and I was like, God, she's perfect. Like, everything about her was perfect for me. You know, I just loved it so much. And then I wrote a little tiny thing, and then I didn't know it, but she was doing the same thing to me with my profile. She's like, oh my God, what the hell happened to this guy? It's like I became this new person altogether, you know? Anyway, very strange turn of events. We ended up being in the same fucking city in Costa Rica. The same city, not because I chose to go to that city, like because she was going to be there. It's a small town. It's an area called Limon in Costa Rica. It's not on the West Coast. It's on the East Coast. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a little tiny hippie place. You know, but I was there. I don't know why I was there. I just wanted to go away from all like the people and be by myself. I needed time to think, you know? And she happened to be there. I don't know. Fuck. What am I supposed to say to that?
Did you like bump into her on the street?
No, that would be retarded. I was on Facebook and I was like, oh, I just let her know I was going to Costa Rica, you know, like a couple days before I left. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Costa Rica. And she goes, really? Where? And I was like, oh, this area over here, Limon. And she goes, you're kidding. Because she didn't tell anybody she was going to Costa Rica. She didn't post it on her Facebook, nothing. I didn't know she was there. And so she's like, I just moved there. And I was like, ha ha ha, that would be funny if that happened. And she's like, no, I really just moved there. And I was like, this is impossible, you know? Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But I don't know. I'm not the kind of guy, or I wasn't the kind of guy, I'm still not the kind of guy who just blindly says, it's fate, you know? But I also am not the kind of guy who can sit at a mountain of evidence and go, that's not true. There's something fucking going on. I don't know what it is. So, I don't know. It's interesting. Anyway, that was a little tangent there, but you get the idea, at least. Yeah, a good tangent. I like it, too. So, you've had an interesting turn of experiences so far in this event since you've been here. And clearly something's different right now about you. And I don't know what it is, but clearly there's something different about you. So,
If you want to guess.
no, I don't want to guess. No, I want to hear from you what last night was like, because clearly something happened after. Because last time when I left you, it was me, you, and who was it?
You.
Oh yeah, Ian. Yeah, right. The three of us were having dinner with Kelsey. This was the four of us, and you weren't like this then. So something happened. Something snapped in you, and now you are like this. You let go of like probably 90% of the weird discomfort things that you do with your body. I don't know if anybody else can see this or not. Yeah, but it's like very clear that something happened. You know. So I'm really curious what happened and what your realization was around this. So I'd love to hear about your evening.
Right. Well, after our dinner, I started walking with you,
Mm-hmm.
just going somewhere, I didn't even know. Walking down the main street to Rembrandtplein, and I was like, yeah, let's go left. Don't feel like walking a big street.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly I heard you say, hey, where we're going. And I just answered, I don't even know if it was Dutch or English. I just answered, I don't know. And then I walked to this couch, this bench, turned around and you were gone.
No, in all fairness, we were walking and like he was pretty rattled. Like he was
Obviously, yeah.
He was in his head, and I was like, "There's nothing I can say to him that is going to get through."
No,
He
but
needs to figure this shit out.
either way, this happens. Like this is the shit that happens. Is what I'm talking about. Okay, so you turned around and he was gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I went to sit there on the bench, was pretty good when thinking, and I felt like I had sat there enough. So I went back to the hotel.
Uh huh.
Pretty cold and everything. And I just went sitting on the bank here, the couch,
Mm-hmm.
just thinking, rereading what I wrote down about Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I've been really tired. And then Brad showed up out of nowhere. I don't know where he came from.
His
It
room,
was
I guess.
Well, you can, I think
Coming
you
in
came from
I was
outside.
coming in to go to sleep and I saw you sitting over there, so I was like, oh, come over and see what's going on.
You definitely died, couldn't you?
Yeah.
A really good talk, and I not just letting him go. And I had a really, really great evening last night. I think at some point I had danced with, spoken to 70% of the bar at least.
Yeah.
Every single girl. And also even, I'd like you to tell the story because I like your version better.
Because he saw what was happening and you were in.
Well,
in
no, it's just funnier.
yeah.
We were all at, well, yeah, we went out to this, what was it called, Surprise Bar, I think.
Mhm.
So we were walking down the street, we were gonna go to Pirates, and then this bachelorette party walked in front of us. And then we walked by, and it's like, I was like, should we go in there? I was like, we're out to pick up chicks.
Clearly, you should go in there.
We have to go in.
Yeah.
Call it an audible there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went into this surprise bar. Long story short, we were just kind of getting our energy up, dancing around, having some drinks, just trying to kind of get ourselves in a good state. And then out of nowhere, like, I mean, a couple of us maybe threw out some bachelor lines, but we were all pretty quiet still in our heads a little bit. There's these two girls dancing behind us. He grabs one of them, like, no eye contact whatsoever. Just grabs her hand and pulls her. And I mean, it was a bit of an aggressive move, but regardless. And she thought, like, she smiled, like she clearly was okay with it. I think she kind of saw it coming. And he pulls her, and she falls down 2 stairs. Takes a pretty solid spill. But she's okay. She gets up and she's like, holy shit, what just happened to me? And she starts dancing. And then he grabs her other friend, like, by both legs, and just, like, picks this girl up and carries her down into the group and starts dancing with both of them. Like, arms around them. It was the craziest thing. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Who is this guy? It was unbelievable. And then, like, the entire night, he's all over the place. He's pushing me around. He's like, what the fuck? So no, it was good. I've never seen a change like that ever in my entire life. I was a little bit rattled. I was like, she could technically she'd probably sue you because she kept holding her hand like she was dancing.
Yeah.
But no, it was really good. It was good. But I don't know what your version is, but I just saw you.
A lot different actually, but I like your version.
But I like your version. Awesome. So, hey, you just gotta let go, man. You know? It's like, how are you going to possibly figure out how this world actually works unless you just let go of all the rules and start trying shit out, you know? So you just let go then, finally. Now you know what it feels like to let go.
It was fun.
Oh, it's fucking amazing. Well, you still, here's the thing, you have still, when you let go of something, you let go of it, as in it's not there anymore. So the thing that was keeping you from doing shit like that in the past is gone now, clearly, because it also was the same thing that was keeping you from making solid eye contact with me. Like, you're just fucking totally different now. It's completely different, you know? So there's something now that is revealed that wasn't there before because you were trying to hold on to something that wasn't true. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So-
I'm willing to share with the group with you guys always.
Yeah, of course we are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as a child, I was actually I was also an emotional child. I got bullied up, and instead of facing that, I actually wanted to face it around my 12, 13-year-old time. So when I started battling those demons, I thought I won. Actually, I just kicked them on the table and hit them somewhere deep. I always hit as a child. I read a lot, and I was in books and fantasies, and I was in my thoughts. I wasn't that social. So at my age 13, I thought I'd conquered it. And then Thursday night, I was driving home. I'm driving from Delft to Haarlem to get here Friday morning. And I just almost broke down. My walls came down and it felt horrible. And I realized I hadn't defeated those feelings. I hadn't done anything. I just shoved them away. And after Friday night, I had the exact same feeling when getting from the bar after all those rejections.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't want to feel. I actually felt like dying.
Yeah.
Just jump in a candle and not surfacing. That was horrible. But I wrote it all down and I got it all out, and then I just let it go yesterday.
Awesome.
Good for you, bro.
Fuck. Okay. Well, good. I don't know what to say, except awesome.
I actually have another story from the bar when we Pirates. And it was this guy, he actually reminded me of you. He was the one guy that was more handsome than you are. But he was also drink guarding. He was shy. He wanted to dance with everybody, with girls,
Uh-huh.
but he was really shy. And yeah. So I actually picked his drink, grabbed it, put it on the table. I grabbed this woman that was dancing, was a little older woman. It was really fun. I grabbed her. I grabbed the guy. I brought them together. And the woman was like, I want to dance with you. So she grabbed her friend, grabbed her hand, put it on the chest of the guy. So I'm like, okay, step away, just there, his spell now. I'll come back a minute later, and the girl had climbed, it was actually a woman, 20, 30 years old, married, her husband was there. Didn't matter, it was just fun. That girl had climbed that guy, was just a little bit shorter than me, and was hanging back, so really, really cool, sort of dancing like that. So it was acrobatics. I was like, I came up to him after the girl, she had gone for real, for a few seconds, I saw him back later. I was like, hey, and he was like, thank you.
Yeah, he's your best friend forever now.
Yeah, of course.
They buy you 8 drinks.
No, I didn't drink that night, actually. I had a realization about it. But I said, give me your phone and go to notice. So you gave me your phone, I tapped into Tower Badass, and you're like, okay, I'll check it out tomorrow.
Oh man, you just ruined his life. Awesome. That is awesome. Okay. All right, well, that's where this is going, I guess. Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go back to Tansu since he just showed up here. So we're talking about kind of the biggest revelation that you had yesterday, like last night, basically. Anything that kind of stands out in your mind, I'd love to hear about.
Okay, what I noticed about myself yesterday was, like Connor said, I could just go up to anyone, just talk,
Mhm.
be friendly with them. You know, it's just in my nature. Like that's how I, carry myself basically.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like when I come to a point where I feel uncomfortable, like I feel like escaping, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that just force yourself and just be there
Mm-hmm.
and just walk through it. And that's what I actually noticed about myself. Like I just had to push my limits to the next level,
Mhm.
basically. And I guess my fear was, or still is to be liked for some reason.
Yeah, well, for some reason, there's a reason. There's definitely a reason there. So let's figure out.
It's a responsibility, and I don't want to take it, I guess.
Well, why not?
I don't know, maybe I'm
What
scared.
What are you afraid of?
Probably to break their hearts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Failing, probably.
Failure.
Trying and then not being able to do it.
Yeah.
But what does it mean if you fail? If they don't accept you, basically. If they don't like you.
Yeah, I would be an outcast or just get rejected.
You'd be alone.
Yeah, I would be alone.
You're afraid of being alone. But you're already alone.
Exactly. And
This
I was
is-
just thinking that.
Yep.
towards you.
Yep.
Actually, I had a different breakdown when you said that the first day we were already alone. You had to let go of everyone.
Uh-huh.
And I was just walking back to my hotel. It was dark and nobody was out there. It's in the suburbs. And I think I thought of my friends and family, and I thought of my brother. Probably my brother is the person. If he dies, I would be the saddest.
That's me too.
My
That was
younger
yeah.
brother, yeah.
Yeah, my younger brother. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to handle it, or if he got hurt, I would just save his life and give my life for him.
Yeah, this is exactly how I used to feel too. It's exactly how I exact same thoughts.
And then I let him go,
Yeah.
and I killed him in my head, basically. I just imagined that he was dying,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, how a person, I don't know if you lost a person, but there's a mourning process to it.
Yeah.
5 steps, they explain it. Blah,
Yeah, like
blah, blah.
anger and you go through the whole
Depression,
process. Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
And then
And then you accept, and then
accept
you.
it, and then you heal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of had that within 3 seconds.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then I looked back. I said that, he probably lived a better life than I did because I'm his older brother and he had a guy.
Yeah.
And that was just it. And then, out of nowhere, I imagined my dad dying, my mother dying, and I just said my last words, if if I could say something like for the last time, what I would say, I just said it. I hugged them, and they were just gone.
What'd you say?
I told my dad that even though we had a lot of problems, I love you the most out of, like, as opposed to my mother, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked like I never had a strong, like, maybe I did, but not verbally with my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked at my mother and I said, I felt like saying nothing. Just hugging was enough, and just hugged her, and that was it. And I had all these like fuzzy feelings in my like really really deep subconscious. Like, it was funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, you just killed your family. That's what it means, That's what it feels like to let go. Well, now you're more alone, Do you feel like you're more alone now than you were before?
Well, I don't, feel scared of loneliness.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. I mean, do you feel more
Feeling
alone?
alone.
Yeah. Do you feel more alone than you did before? Not scared of it, because that's not usually what happens. Usually you step out of something like this and...
I really think it's the concept that everything is a dream and I'm alone.
Well, maybe.
So I'm okay with it, kind of. Like, I know that I'm alone.